The 5th anniversary of the killing of George Floyd. With Donald Trump back in office, some in MAGA world are trying to rewrite that history and that tragedy, pushing for a presidential pardon for Derek Chauvin, the former Minneapolis police officer convicted of Floyd's murder by a jury of his peers. Here with me now to talk about it is Terrance Floyd, George Floyd's brother. Terrance, we appreciate you joining us tonight. An online petition to pardon Chauvin has reportedly garnered 50,000 signatures, and the cause has attracted the attention of MAGA celebrities like Ben Shapiro, Charlie Kirk, and Elon Musk. Why do you think this is happening?
Well, from what I feel is happening. I feel that these people want to incite riots again, so they can do what they wanted to do in 2020 and kind of like, basically, for lack of better terms, get rid of us.
So you think the whole setup is for a reaction? Because when your family called me right after it happened and I went down and did the funerals, and National Action Network helped supply a lot of the resources that we never wanted back, one of the things y'all said is tell people do not riot and that you did not want to be identified with violence. You feel something like this would spark people to just react in a violent way, and that's what some of them want, so they'd have an excuse to hurt people. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I feel. And I've went around different neighborhoods, and people that recognize me and know me, they actually said these things. They was agreeing with me when they said this is what I feel. They feel is happening. You know, they want us to go out there and riot so they can mow us over and do certain things and look at us in a violent way.
Now, Derek Chauvin. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was getting ready to say Derek Chauvin's federal charges for violating your brother's civil rights resulted in a 21-year sentence, which he is serving concurrently with his 22-and-a-half-year state sentence for murder, meaning that a federal pardon wouldn't have any impact on the time Chauvin spends in jail. What do you think the point of all of this is? He wouldn't get out of jail because he still would be in under state charges. So why would people like Musk and all of them, what point are they making when they know it won't free him from his incarceration?
Well, I don't think they're making any point. You know, I stand on what I said before with Shapiro. They need to stay in their lane. You know, I listen to, you know, some what you speak on when it comes to the Central Park 5 and what Trump did as a businessman, as a real estate person. He stepped out of his lane and voiced his opinion, and that's what I feel like Shapiro and every other person, conservative or whatever, is doing now. They're voicing their opinions, but they're not stating facts. They're not paying attention to the facts. And because
there's a videotape of what Chauvin did to your brother. That's what helped to convict him. You know, the topic of Chauvin's pardon came up at the White House Daily Briefing on Wednesday. Listen to this, Terrance.
Some prominent Trump supporters have been making the case that Derek Chauvin deserves a pardon. They argue that he did not receive a fair trial. Joe Biden and other Democrats actually implied that he was guilty while the trial was going on. The BLM rioters had these jurors under immense threat and pressure. Mainstream media, frankly, many news outlets here today are complicit here. They chose to ignore the autopsy report. They chose to ignore the full body camera footage. They decided to slander Derek Chauvin as a racist cop instead. Does the administration believe Derek Chauvin received a fair trial, and will they consider a pardon moving forward?
The president has been asked and answered this question. He said it's not something he's considering at this time.